Okay, let's do this thing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to my NXT review. What do we have going on this show tonight before I guess next week is going to be spring break-in and everything, which they have a card for next week, which looks pretty decent right now. But what do we have tonight? We kick it off right off the back with Nikita Lyons versus Lash Legend. Of course, Wade Baird has to make a whole bunch of, Twitter thirsty jokes, and also even have to, I guess mention whatever, Elon Musk, the new owner of Twitter, since everybody is just losing their shit about that nowadays. Well, in the past 24 hours, I should say, which is just pretty funny in my eyes. But yeah, with that going on, we did have Nikita Lyons, the Lash Legend, in a rematch. Some would say Battle of the Thickness 2, which it looked like the lights had, I don't know, like the screen went black. I feel like it probably was maybe a botch, or well, not botch, but maybe a wardrobe malfunction. Not really sure about that. But this match honestly was kind of rough at the same time. This match was, I don't know, man. Lash Legend is still very green. I can say that. Nikita Lyons is better, but maybe it's just with both of them in the ring, something is not working out right here. Um, and whatnot. So this was a kind of a rough match to see. Nikita Lyons did get the win, though. Kind of saw that coming right after Natalia came out and attacked Nikita Lyons. After that, Cora Jade came out with her skateboard and everything. Her and Natalia had a stare down until Natalia about to put into the sharpshooter. Nikita ended up knocking her outside the ring then as the heels backed off after that. So yeah, pretty rough match out there to watch, but a lot of post stuff going on too at the same time. Next, Tony D'Angelo talked about he was going to have a match with Von Wagner since Zion Quinn had an injury all of a sudden. And now my camera has fell down on me because I knocked something over. How funny is that? Yeah, ended up being Von Wagner was going to be the Von Wet stay. Von Wagner was going to be the replacement into this match. But also, we had Roderick Strong was talking to the Diamond Mine, saying he doesn't want to see another, uh, group go down like the last one did, Undisputed Era. And he said that the Creeds, you know, you guys been looking too confident lately and stuff. But they talked about, hey man, we were at Stand Deliver. We ran a gauntlet with 3 other teams, okay? And Strong says, you're just making excuses. So we're gonna bring in some former tag team champions, people that used to be in NXT that were NXT tag team champions. So they brought back, I guess I should be saying NXT names now, the War Raiders, Hanson and Rowe. Back in NXT, which was very surprising to see since they don't have really thing going up on SmackDown anyways. Nothing that really noteworthy anybody can talk about. Shit, we're just sending anybody back to NXT. So yeah, let's send some more NXT alumnus that were the shit at one point when they were down here. So yeah, the War Raiders were there, and they were going to be facing the Creed brothers next week. Um, Tony D'Angelo went against Von Wagner with Robert Stone, or I guess they're calling him Mr. Stone now. We're getting a lot of name changes on this show, people, and a lot of them don't make sense at the same time. But then again, WWE just loves changing these names all of a sudden. But yeah, Tony D'Angelo and Von Wagner, which wasn't a bad match. I know Wagner knocked D'Angelo out the ring. Legato came out then to interfere. But these two mafia just guys, like it's 1940s or something. So, Mr. Tony D'Angelo, he's the Don of NXT, blah, blah, blah. Escobar ended up hitting him with like a crowbar to the back of his knee. Basically put D'Angelo back in the ring, and Von Wagner hit his big boot and won the match. So, not a bad match, though. Okay, obviously, just still out for Tony D'Angelo. But then again, why was it a heel versus heel match at the same time, too? Like, aren't both of these guys heels? Why are we doing heel versus heel matches for? Um, Indy Hartwell and Persia Perota were talking to Roxy in the back, or Roxanne Perez, talking about her win last week. Toxic Attraction showed up as saying that was a fluke win. And he says, you go back to Dream to be a champion and everything because, I am the champion. And Mandy Rose says she's going to show her what it really takes to be a champion tonight. Um, Briggs, Jensen, and Henry were in the back talking about the match with Legato later on. Brooks getting, I guess, distracted. I think it's that girl that be looking at what was it, Robert Stone and Wagner out there. I think that was her. So there you go. They also announced Nikita Lyons and Cora Jade versus Lash Legend Natalia for next week's spring break-in. Nathan Fraizer was making his debut from NXT UK. He was supposed to be going against Guru Raj, but Grayson Waller came out saying like, I'm a big star, I don't need Sangha anymore, and talked about the Chase University guys out there, they're a fraud and everything. Their sorority girls look like refrigerators and stuff, and that no one can stop me and everything. Fraizer ended up getting the ring taken out, Waller, and throwing him outside the ring, hit him with a big suicide dive. Then, as Andre Chase and him got in the ring, said it was a big teachable moment right here. So, yeah, they end up knocking him out of the ring. Then, Waller out there. So, hey, I thought we were getting the debut of Fraizer. Hey, we got the debut of Fraizer one way or another, not in a match, but I guess maybe next week now it'll be Fraizer versus Waller then for next week. Also, they did announce the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, or Spring, yeah, Breakout Tournament in the next 2 weeks, the Women's Now version, which they did introduce some of the girls tonight. They did talk about Ariana Grace, who was going to be in it. Ariana Grace is the daughter of Santino Marella, which they did not mention, by the way. Maybe they want to get away from the goofy stuff, because Santino was a goofball at the time. But this is his daughter. Basically, I know they talk about her MMA background and stuff, so we'll see where she goes. Okay, I don't think they're gonna try to make her like a goofball like Santino or anything, but now they're doing a women's tournament, so we'll see where this goes. I remember the last time the men's tournament, Carmelo Hayes won. That's when it was still black and gold before everybody got all these gimmick changes and stuff now. So we'll see where this goes then. Tiffany Stratton talked about beating Saray last week. Waller showed up then talking about Fraizer, and they agreed on it and stuff. Next, Caden Carter, and once again, another name change. It's not Casey Catanzaro anymore. Now it's Katana Chance. They went against Valencia Faraz and Louisa Lyon. Good tag match. Wasn't bad out there. Carter and Catanzaro ended up getting a win. What was the point of changing her name? I don't understand these WWE name changes sometimes. I really don't. And stuff, but they did the 450 like neck breaker for the win. So Carter and got the win. I know they're like their gimmick, they're like ravers and stuff. So like I said, not a bad tag match with all four women out there and stuff. But yeah, these name changes. Brooks was ended up getting beat up by somebody in the back as Briggs and them were pissed off then. Basically blaming Legato and stuff. You'll say Jinsei could fight, even though he had a wrist injury, but we'll see what's going to happen. Kaylee Ray had a video with her baseball bat, basically dragging it on the ground and somehow setting it on fire. I wish I could do that with my own baseball bat. Maybe I can. But now they changed her name, too, to Alba Fire. I don't even know anymore. I don't know. I'm still gonna say call these people by their names from beforehand. I'm not really down with half these new names they call them, so I'm just gonna stick to Kaylee Ray or some of these names just is it's just damn near laughable half the time. But hey, that's them. Legado del Fantasma though, DJZ, Lopez, and what's that last guy's name? Did they change his name too? I was saying, is it Cruz del Toro now or something? Or shit, damn, why did I forget the other guy's name in there now? I don't know why. I have to look his name up again. But yeah, Legato though went against Briggs and Fallon Henley, and I guess a handicap match then, which Legato did get the win. So not really surprised by that. Italian Lash Legend talk about that match coming up for next week. But yeah, this 2-on-3 tag match though. DJZ and shit, what the fuck is this guy? Wow, I'm having a mind blank here. What was this guy's name before? Legato? No, 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 no. Because I know they're going by a new name now, but shit, what was his name? I gotta look that up. I don't know why. My mind really went blank on dude though. Okay. Next, they also talk about more people in the tournament. Kiana James. Like I said, I'm just going by whatever they showed real quick. Solo Sikoa went against Trick Williams. Cameron Grimes was on commentary. Sikoa ended up getting the win with the big splash, of course. Next him, Grimes and Mello end up basically having a stare off then. Solo tried a super kick on Mello been super kicking Grimes then after that. So yeah, we got a triple threat for the North American title next week. Malik Blade and Idris Enofe were hyping themselves up for their match later on against the War Raiders. Legado del Fantasma talked about, what they have happened last week. They got payback on Tony D'Angelo. But we get the War Raiders going against, Malik Blade and Idris Enofe. I'm surprised this wasn't really much of a squash match, and they kind of gave them some offense out there. You didn't, just them come back to NXT where they dominated NXT at one point. You just think they would go in, just get a squash match and everything since they're going against the Creed brothers next week. But they had a somewhat competitive match out there. The Raiders end up getting a win, though, of course, and basically shook Idris Enofe and Elite Blade's hands. Right after the Creed brothers came out there and basically have a stare down with them before their match next week. We also had a promo from Wesley. Basically talk about, a 6-month journey to get back those tag titles, which, they did, basically was just him like on a beach, but they had his own vignette though. Talking about, it sucks to lose the titles, but you could always come back and win those. But having the titles taken from you, that's different. Okay. And it made, it's a lot of anger behind that. And he says he'll never forget his past. But, the future has new risks. So he could sit there and bitch and moan about it. Talk about things aren't fair, or you can knuckle up and do what he's destined to do, and whatnot. So, like, they did their best to basically say, hey, MSK got the titles taken from him, but, we're not going to mention, Wentz, Nash, Carter, and everything, given the whole situation. So, at least they're trying to do something with Dez out here now. Shit. If they wanted to go that, we go back calling him Desmond Xavier, but obviously they're not going to do that. But obviously they see something for him now with him being a single star and everything. So hopefully he gets something. Like I said, it sucks what happened, for him, especially with the whole MSK group and, them having to get rid of Nash Carter, given the whole situation that's going on. Like, I've already talked about it, so I'm not really gonna have to, I don't really need to go into it. We already know what the whole story is, the whole Kimberly thing, and like I said, I think WWE just didn't really want to deal with this. So I guess they just had no choice just to go and release and everything. Like I said, the whole story's crazy and everything, but it looks like Nash Carter does have a lot of support on his side. I'm not going to sit here and go and like, if this is another, like, sorry, seeing people say this is basically another, even though this happened before, the whole Johnny Depp Amber Heard case. But hey, Johnny Depp looks like he's about to win that case anyway, so good on him. No, okay, so at least he winning out here right now. But yeah, Nash Carter, like I said, the whole situation is just messed up as it is. But hopefully, Dez now, it looks like he's going to get a singles push, because I don't know what was going to happen to this guy, given that they took the tag belts from him and, your partner's gone and now you're just here on your own, and what was going to be the future behind that. So it looks like they do believe in him one way or another. So, something is going to go good for him. So hopefully something goes good for him right now, given that MSK is done now at this point. But, like I said, the whole thing is crazy. But hey, like I said, Nash Carter, I read people still do that Justice for Nash Carter thing online. So we'll see where that goes. But next, Tony D'Angelo introduced his two Mafia buddies there. Mr. Troy Two Dimes Donovan and Channing Lorenzo, or as they call him, Stacks, as they're going to have a sit down. So, we're going to have a little sit down next week. It's the Mafia. We're going to watch The Godfather and The Sopranos, and, maybe watch some Goodfellas after that. Maybe next thing you know, they're going to bring in Joe Pesci and everything, and maybe they'll make it like the real Mafia. So, the Italian Mafia versus the Lucha Mafia. That's what I'm calling it right now, okay? The Lucha Mafia versus the Italian Mafia. So, we'll see where that goes, okay? Capiche? Mandy Rose went against Roxy. I'm surprised they even put in Roxy, you know, and even against the champion right now after being there for 2 weeks. Some would say Roxy carried this match against Mandy Rose, which I probably could agree on. Roxy is really good, okay? I've known that since Ring of Honor. So this was not a bad match. Mandy Rose ended up getting a clean win with the knee and stuff. Right after, though, Wendy Chu showed up, was going to shoot with water guns, but that they got away, and then Wendy Chu hit like a box and then dropped a net on Toxic Attraction, and then they sprayed with silly. What is this Nickelodeon out here, Wendy Chu? That's basically what this is, like some Nickelodeon shit. It was bad enough with the Super Soaker guns, and they had to take bumps for it. Like I said, it's not comparable when Steve Austin comes out with a beer truck or Kurt Angle with a milk truck. And then again, last time I remember, like, I've seen Steve Austin, just drop a net on DX, and that looked even better because like if you drop the net and they already broke out, it doesn't make any sense. Hell, I've seen also shoot a net gun at the NWO before, okay, and the silly string stuff, it just looks silly. It looks bad. Like it is, what is like it's like some Nickelodeon type of shit out here with her. They also what other vignette they had? Sloane Jacobs. Now we may have now the next youngest star on NXT. So even younger than Roxy. So there you go. Um, Next, Joe Gacy came out there with the Druids. I don't know whatever happened to Harlan. I guess he just disappeared all of a sudden. But all these Druids, like 20 of them, were out there. And Gacy talked about, makes a lot of strides around here. We're going to be, accepting the way of life and stuff. And his mission has not been accomplished, okay? Basically, Breaker and Matt even maybe they're naked next week. And that, he's been molding NXT into a clay of acceptance and all this stuff. Basically, Breaker will not be able to defend his title next week. So, he's going to mold this clay to show the vision of his world. Next thing you know, Rick Steiner came out then, basically telling Joe Gacy that Breaker is medically cleared for next week. So, there you go. Gacy said, you picked a good time to come back, okay? And the worst possible time. Next thing you know, the Druids got in the ring, and then, it's like 20 of these guys. Breaker comes out there. He beats up all the Druids and stuff, and Rick is being pinned down by the Druids, but Gacy ended up taking him down with a clothesline. And then all the Druids are all stacked up together so fast, all of a sudden handed the NXT title to Gacy as he held it up. Okay, first off, I don't even know why they gave Joe Gacy Druids now. Like, I'm almost surprised the fans supposed to start chanting Undertaker out there nowadays. Like, we know Undertaker is quote unquote, retired for the time being. But I guess it was like, okay, since the Undertaker's not really around right now, we're going to give his Druids to some other guy. So, why? I don't know. Why send Rick Steiner out there again just to get kind of beat up? I'm sure people were thinking maybe Scott Steiner shows up and he just starts beating up everybody and does some crazy promo and everything, which I'm sure everybody would love to see, especially Scott Steiner on a microphone. But I don't know if Steiner will show up if he does. I'm kind of somewhat expecting him to show up now. Or maybe he was just there just for the Hall of Fame. Like, people know about Scott Steiner and, him talking about WWE. Like, he's not going to mess up his nephew's career and anything. And, I'm sure he did the Hall of Fame for his brother and all that stuff. But maybe it's a deal with the Hall of Fame. He doesn't really want to be on TV for the WWE. So I don't really know, okay? But I would have really liked that better. I'm like, I was kind of expecting Steiner just to come out and help Breaker beat up the Druids and stuff. We get Big Papa Pump out there and everything. But, you know, I don't know, but the Druid thing is like that just looks. I thought it looked silly last week when they just surrounded Breaker. Like I'm like, when did Gacy borrow Undertaker's Druid? So like he's like Undertaker now. So I don't know. The promo was okay, but everything after just looked really silly. To be honest, and then the Druids got up like in 5 seconds, and they all formed a line just to hand the title to him. So yeah, the title match I believe is what next week, I believe. So yeah, they need to move on from this now because I don't even know where this is going. Okay. Yeah, and Rick Steiner being there, they brought him in, just like, hey, he's here medically clear for next week. That's it. Okay, but whatever. But yeah, that's NXT, folks. So yeah, comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at HoodandKnight890. Tell me what you think about this show tonight. Did you like it? Did you hate it? I don't know. What did you think about this show? Okay. So other than that, I'm out of here. I'll see you guys then. Peace out. Check out my Monday Night Raw review and my Rebellion review that is uploaded online right now. I'm out.